12th of May 2022. Greetings straight from the heart of Africa, Kigali. This is what makes our top stories tonight. The report of the Auditor General of the year that ended June 6, 2021 indicates that public parastatals should heed the advice given by this body because the rate of non-compliance of the recommendations given by the Auditor General dropped by just 2% between 2020 and 2021.
The Central Bank of Rwanda has announced that inflation is expected to increase persistently in Rwanda as well as in other parts of the world due to various reasons, including the rise in transportation costs, the rise in gas oil prices, and the Russia-Ukraine war.
The use of technology in schools is said to be the key to African continent progress as well as achieving its future goals. This was mentioned in the 15th International Conference and Exhibition on ICT for Education Training and Skills Development e-Learning Africa taking place in Kigali. A very good evening to you and welcome to Rwanda Television News. My name is Sam Kalisa.
And mine, Martina Avera.
You're good, Martina?
I'm very good. How are you today?
Very good.
Okay.
And of course, straight to business. This Thursday at Urugwiro Village, President Paul Kagame received a delegation from Business Professionals Network, BPN Rwanda. The organization is celebrating its 10th anniversary, during which they have supported close to 300 entrepreneurs in over 20 industries, contributing to creating sustainable jobs and growth. BPN offers entrepreneurs with business management trainings, coaching, easy loan to startups, and the exclusive opportunity to network with other entrepreneurs. And moving ahead to more matters, the report of the Auditor General of the year that ended June 6, 2021 indicates that public parastatals should heed the advice given by this body because the rate of non-compliance of the recommendations given by the Auditor General dropped by just 2% between 2020 and 2021. Ethan Tashabia kickstarts tonight's bulletin with this report.
The plenary sitting of the both chambers of parliament received the Auditor General's report for the fiscal year ending June 2021. During that period, 68 projects were considered for the audit from 8 public agencies, 8 ministries, and 10 public enterprises. Auditor General Alexis Kamhire's report surveyed a total of 206 government agencies with a total budget of 3.5 trillion, while in the 2019-2020, 175 government agencies were considered for the audit report. We audited a total budget of 3.562 trillion Rwandan francs, representing 91% of the total government spending for the fiscal year ended in June 2021. 96 entities representing 57% of entities got unqualified audit opinion in financial audit. 60 entities representing 35% got except for audit opinion, while 13 entities representing 8% had adverse opinion on the financial statement. The Auditor General stated that 15 government institutions and 27 government projects obtained unqualified opinions on financial and compliance audits. On the other hand, 7 entities got adverse opinions in financial and compliance audits. Legislators are wondering when many government agencies will be in position to better manage taxpayers' money.
The steps taken in accountability doesn't reflect the money lost. Honorable Speaker, if you compare this report and the previous year, things got worse. This year alone, projects worth 965 billion Rwandan francs projects were abandoned, yet those projects that have been idle amount to 102 billion Rwandan francs, yet only 27 billion Rwandan francs have been recovered from these projects. I am wondering if we have been able to make progress in accountability, yet we have not been able to recover the money from such failed projects.
I was surprised to see REB distribute textbooks of English, French, history, geography, and many others, but they have failed to produce Kinyarwanda textbooks. Is this the result of poor planning or concept of their language? Because we have to do this at a tender age if we want to promote our language and nurture our children at a tender age. The Auditor General cited examples of incidents that raise concerns about achieving value for money, such as idle assets and projects that are delaying implementation and, as a result, delaying service delivery in many sectors. In his report, Kamhide shows that 35 projects worth 201 billion Rwandan francs have been delayed, including 25 projects worth 89.9 billion Rwandan francs found in the 2021 audit, and 12 projects worth 111 billion have been identified in the reports of the previous 6 financial years. There was an increase in the entities that obtained clean audit opinions from 32% the year ended in June 2020 to 57% the year ended in June 2021. 5 entities under Rwanda Protechnic received disclaimer opinion, while 2 others received adverse opinion, which signifies an improvement in the management of public funds. If other entities continue to do the same, we'll be able to achieve NST1 targets of having at least 80% of public entities obtain clean audit by 2024. It is expected that after the submission of the Auditor General's report, the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee, PAC, will summon every institution to explain their mismanagement of the state finances. Reporting for RTV News, Ethan Tashobia.
Thank you, Ethan Tashobia, for that report. On to other matters. University of Rwanda notes that it has a goal of contributing to the country's development through artificial intelligence. On Thursday, students of Masters and PhD in Technology at the University of Rwanda received trainings and knowledge about artificial intelligence and data science. Olive Nhete with the report.
In Rwanda, artificial intelligence is quickly picking up in different sectors such as health, bank systems, agriculture, and other sectors to enhance quality service provision. This new way of doing things has also contributed a lot during the COVID-19 pandemic, where robots were used to contain the spread of the virus. The African Center of Excellence in Internet of Things in University of Rwanda currently has laboratories that facilitate students in Masters and PhD to practice what they learn.
We are experiencing a lot in this lab. Before this lab, we were just being introduced. What is sensors, what is actuators? We didn't know what is real on ground. But after introducing this lab, it's a real hands-on experience which have been helpful to us. We didn't know how to connect, how to apply real life problems which we're experiencing into practicals. But after experiencing this lab and all components here in the lab, we have learned a lot.
The Director of Research Computing Center and Associate Vice President for Research Computing at the University of Chicago, Professor Hakizumwami Birali Runesha, notes that artificial intelligence is transforming people's lives and that it is beneficial in various sectors.
So they are transforming the world of life because when you think of it, everywhere a device to do, you can really train a model to do things in a better way, to learn the habits, and there's so many applications in all aspects of our society that rely on now. So when you think about some of the applications contribute is the ability to also train an algorithm that can learn how to do something and be able to predict, something would be really tremendous. I particularly have a project of my own that I worked on. It was about prostate cancer. So in the old days, you will have to go to get a biopsy. Basically, they probe you to be able to say, okay, you have cancer or not. But those biopsies, they make a lot of mistakes. And this is a cancer that is a leading cancer for men in the world. So when using AI, not only you don't need to have those biopsies, nobody need to put on needle to you, but can you even, let's say, medical imaging to predict that the person has a cancer before you even touch or do anything. So for me, that's a big. So this is just one simple example, but there are so many in agriculture to predict yields, to improve our livelihoods, and then you name. So in all field, I can pick an example that really can justify the impact that AI is making on our society today.
The principal of the College of Science and Technology of the University of Rwanda, Dr. Inyas Gatare, points out that the university aims at contributing to the development of the country through technology.
So as far as Rwanda is concerned, we saw how artificial intelligence and data science could be used, for example, in the application of robots to follow up on COVID cases. And we know that the Ministry of Health is doing a lot to exploit that technology. So we think as a university, by contributing in advancing knowledge training of advanced degree, like a master's and PhD, also advancing research in that sector, it will be really a good contribution to that journey, because it's the process to build the sector of artificial intelligence and data science.
Currently, the African Center of Excellence in Internet of Things in the University of Rwanda has 149 students in Masters and 36 in PhD. Olive Nete, RTV News.
Thank you, Oli, for the report. To more matters now, the Central Bank of Rwanda has announced that inflation is expected to increase persistently in Rwanda as well as in other parts of the world due to various reasons, including the rise in transportation costs, the rise in gas and oil prices, and the Russia-Ukraine war. However, Governor John Rwangonga says there is hope that next year prices could reduce back to normalcy. We have the report. According to figures from the Central Bank of Rwanda's Monetary Policy Committee, in the first quarter of 2022, prices rose by 5.9% until Thursday, as the second quarter ends next month. This is in line with the recent figures released by the National Institute of Statistics of Rwanda, indicating that in the last month of April, market prices rose by 9.9%. The central bank indicates that a 5% increase in market prices is normal, but when price rise exceeds 8%, it is considered extreme rise, hence noting that the government needs to take action to deal with the effects of price increase. Among the reasons for the continued rise in commodity prices include the rise in oil and gas prices, which rose by 79.9%, prompting a general 7.4% rise in global prices. Overall, the global economy rose by 3.6%, with a 3.8% rise in the sub-Saharan Africa. In Rwanda, based on the provisional figures, the economy grew by 13.7% in the first quarter of 2022, while export revenues increased by 44.6%, with import expenditures rising by 14.2%. Governor John Rwangonga points out that this has helped to bridge the gap between the import and the exports, hence Rwanda's trade deficit lessening by 2.6%. In terms of financial performance, the central bank indicates that although non-performing loans have declined to 4.7% of the total loans, there is still concern about loans that are not being settled properly, despite the fact that they haven't reached the level of non-performance. The National Bank of Rwanda also pointed out that in the insurance sector, compensating for the property lost during accidents increased by 22.1% in the first quarter of this year, from 9.3% in the first quarter of 2021. This is a major concern for insurance companies as it hinders their profit-making.
Some of the graduates of the Rwanda Polytechnic are happy that they have vocational and training and technical skills that will immediately lead them to the job market, helping them to contribute to the development of their country. Mugiraneza Taonest of Gakenke District, a construction student at IPRC Gishari, say that during the school holidays he could earn about 200,000 francs and return to school when he is financially stable.
There are times when I would get a gig that would pay me around 100,000 to 200,000 Rwanda francs. This would help me take care of all my expenses without having to ask my parents for money.
His mother, Ntibatekereza Domitiye, says that she is optimistic that her son will continue to be a significant figure in the Rwandan society. We still need to help each other out. He's a good child to me, and I will also continue to be a good parent to him. I pray that the Lord may continue to bless him and give him opportunities that he can live a good life as well as taking good care of me. Graduates of various professions in 8 faculties around the Polytechnic said they made the right choice.
The uniqueness about this is that it helps one to work while studying. I was able to make money that helped me to provide for my family as well as contributing to the development of my country.
ibintu byacu birafatika cyane cyane.
The things that we study are very tangible because everything that surrounds us in terms of buildings, electricity, technology, and so much more is all about vocational training and technical skills. So one can say that what we do is useless, and that is why I would like to ask people who think like that to change their perspective. However, high-scoring students asked the government to help them continue their education at a high level as they are currently being awarded scholarships up to the bachelor's degree level.
We aren't yet able to receive scholarships past the bachelor's degree level. Even though they are working on it, we ask that they speed up the process so that we can increase our knowledge.
Minister of State in charge of ICT and TVET in the Ministry of Education, Irere Claudette, says the government has put a lot of effort into teaching the most needed courses in the labour market. Nevertheless, there is a plan to increase the number of vocational and technical students and to increase the time they spend in school to increase their knowledge. All that is in the works. However, we need to understand that we don't want those with only bachelor's degree or even master's, especially in the vocational and technical area. We also want people who are able to get the job done. There are people who are hungry for more education, so we are taking a look at faculties that need to be advanced so that we can be able to make that happen. Rwanda has pledged that by 2024, the number of vocational and technical students will reach 60% of all students in public schools and partner with the state through contracts. In secondary schools, vocational and technical students are at 33%, while in higher education, it is already 40%. But the Ministry of Education said that next year, they should reach 45%.
And moving ahead to other matters, Prote Miranyi, a fugitive of the genocide against the Tutsi, has been confirmed dead. According to the statement from the International Criminal Tribunal of Rwanda, ICTR, following a challenging and intensive investigation, the OTP, Office of the Prosecutor, has determined that Miranyi died on 5th October 2006 in Harare, Zimbabwe. A major in the ex-Rwandan armed forces, Miranyi is believed to have been a very influential figure during the genocide against the Tutsi. He commanded the Presidential Guard, an elite unit that took immediate charge after the death of former President Juvenal Habyarimana on the night of April 6, 1994, and blamed for the slaughter of top politicians as genocide unfolded. Among the politicians killed at the onset of the genocide were Prime Minister Agathe Uwiringiyimana and her security detail of the 10 Belgian peacekeepers. Over to you, Martina.
Some business owners that use social media platforms to sell their products say that it has leapfrogged their businesses as they are able to easily interact with many people across the country and internationally, even though there is still more improvements to be implemented in terms of service delivery. Jen Mutoni with the report.
As online trade continues to increase in Rwanda, uptake for online purchases are equally increasing among consumers. Matthew Rugamba, the founder and creative director of House of Tayo, said that initially he started his business online in 2011 through the use of social media. Until now, he interacts with his clients and that most choose products from his social media platforms and purchase them from wherever they are.
Social media is a big part of why we are the brand we are today. And it allowed people to engage with our brand before they even purchased an item. And so our reputation grew online, and we had to now follow up with the tangible goods. We had to eventually set up a store. We had to create more products. We had to, so it was really a big part of our birth. And we've consistently used social media to talk directly to our clients. It's also allowed us to get feedback. You see how people respond to different things before you even put it into mass production.
However, businesses say that there is need to increase the level of professionalism in service delivery that comes with online trades, especially through the use of social media advertising and e-commerce platforms.
You find that a person uses his or her social media page but has no website, like on Instagram. So when someone conducts business in that form, they make mistakes, hence ruining the reputation of online businesses. So we request the Ministry of ICT and Innovation and Minicom to monitor those kind of businesses.
Consumers say that social media has simplified the process of purchasing goods, arguing that it makes the whole process cheaper, interactive and time convenient.
You can buy stuff cheap. Before, let's say if you want to get a piece from House of Tayo, you need to maybe go there in person. But if you could purchase something online, it saves some costs. So you can buy something, let's say if you buy like bulky stuff, there's a way they do some discounts. Yeah, I think that would be another opportunity.
Alex Nari, the CEO of ICT Chamber in the Private Sector Federation, says that even though some issues have been highlighted in terms of service delivery, social media plays a huge role in boosting small and large businesses. However, he urges consumers to use various websites to leave reviews on how services are being delivered in various sectors in order to help clear out those issues and improve service delivery in Rwanda.
So generally, technology, our ICT, internet technologies, are going to help on cleaning up customer service and customer delivery. And what we are doing within the ICT Chamber and in the Ihuzo project is that we're building more or less like an aggregated platform where small businesses, big businesses can also get one place where they can view or see their reviews, and people can see reviews and ratings, whether it's from TripAdvisor or from Google My Business or from any other, or Facebook, social media, what's happening on Twitter. So that will help us on both positively, but also to clean up some of the bad feedback that has been damaging the business community.
Eve Iradukunda, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, says online business is currently a threat to traditional ways of conducting businesses, as people now prefer online shopping to going to the store and purchasing a product, as it is simpler and faster than traditional businesses.
What social media does is increasing competition, where traditional business owners are pushed to deliver better services, leveraging online platforms. By not doing so, of course, they are at risk of losing customers, but also not being able to take their business to another level. As you can see, online stores are taking some of these customers. So we've seen that more than 70% of the people who have purchased product online are likely to recommend the stores or the business to others. So really the social media or the online services have increased the opportunities for business.
Globally, more than 70% of SMEs use social media to market themselves, and 76.8% of the people aged from 16 to 64 purchase products online. However, in Rwanda, only 6.5% of the total population are active social media users. Of the population aged 15 and above, 4.6% make online purchases. In Rwanda, 3.5% are women and 5.9% of men make online transactions. Jane Mutoni, RTV News.
Thank you, Jen, for the report, but we keep it to technology-related matters, as the use of technology in schools is said to be the key to African continent progress, as well as achieving its further goals. This was mentioned in the 15th International Conference and Exhibition on ICT for Education Training and Skills Development, e-Learning Africa, taking place here in Kigali, Rwanda. Shislin Mugwaneza has more on this.
The 15th International Conference and Exhibition on ICT for Education, Training and Skills Development, e-Learning Africa is taking place in Kigali from 11 to 13 May 2022 under the theme entitled A New Purpose for Education. The attendants include those that have technology activities that contribute to education quality in Africa. Rafiki Irajena is an online student in the University of Rwanda. He testifies that he has so far learned a lot by using e-learning.
The knowledge I gained is international. Lecturers are international. Learning is free. You do not pay. Other lecturers are paid, but I did not pay for what I learned, and there are different courses one can pursue.
The CEO and founder of Allison, Mike Furek, notes that the technology he founded is effectively providing solutions to problems in different African countries.
Allison is one of the largest free learning platforms in the world. We're particularly strong in Africa. We have about 7 million people on our platform last year, particularly large in Nigeria, South Africa, and we have many learners in Rwanda as well. We provide completely free courses, nearly 5,000 free courses on the workplace, so anything from project management to touch typing to Excel to English language. And it's very popular. Because the fact is that we learn, it doesn't cost anything to certify. It's entirely free, and it's probably the only absolutely free platform in Africa.
This conference is expected to be an opportunity to promote the use of ICT for improving access to relevant information, education, and training in Africa to support sustainable education solutions. The Minister of Education, Dr. Valentine Uwamaria, says that COVID-19 revealed another image of utilizing technology in education.
Yeah, we are still in the period of the pandemic, but it has impacted a lot all the sectors in our countries, but in particular to the education, where we had to move to the online learning, but also we are having exhibitions where we can borrow some solutions from edtech entrepreneurs that can strengthen our e-learning systems, but also to indicate where we have to put more emphasis so that we can still deliver learning, even in the future when other pandemic comes up, so that we are ready to face that.
This 15th International Conference and Exhibition on ICT for Education, Training and Skills Development that is taking place in Kigali is aiming at boosting e-learning in Africa. Ghislaine Mugwaneza, RTV News.
Thank you, Ghislaine, for the report. Moving on, farmers in Gicumbi district appreciate the 400 million financial contribution they received from Heifer International to sustain their maize grinding factory. The factory has started operations, the most prominent one being preparing food for the animals to enhance their productivity in a beneficial way. Precious Kirezi with the report.
During the launch of the One Cow Per Family initiative known as Girinka Munyarwanda in 2003, Uwase Flora received her first cow from Heifer International, and she's in awe of the undeniable way this has improved her and her family's life. These cows I started rearing in 2003 have been of great use to me. They have helped me pay school fees for my children. 3 of those children hold a doctorate degree, 2 have a master's degree, and the other 2 are currently pursuing their bachelor's degree. I get a monthly earning like any other employee would, thanks to the milk, cows, and manure that have come from my cows. I use gas to cook, and I can afford the Mutuelle de Santé health insurance, and I know you can tell I am very well fed. This one cow that changed her life is one of the 8 cows that Heifer International had given the residents of the district of Gicumbi that year. She is one of the 76,000 farmers belonging to the IAKIB cooperative that owns the maize grinding factory. Basing on the 40,000 liters of milk they get daily, the factory's nutrition goals aim at increasing productivity, as the president of the cooperative tells us.
Ikindi rero banyakuba dukora nuko twinjiye muri transport y'amata tuyijyanira ku isoko.
We are now handling the transportation of our milk to markets. Before, we used to outsource entrepreneurs to do this, but their prices have gone up, and that was the push we needed to do it ourselves. We now have 4 vehicles transporting milk to Kigali. The president of Heifer International visited the factory in Gicumbi, and he was impressed by the upgraded living conditions he found the residents in, thanks to the good governance of the country.
I just want you to be confident that as long as you need us and you want us, we'll be here. Okay? We'll be here. Development is a global effort, and for us, this corner of Rwanda to be successful is as important to us as, being successful in India or Guatemala or anything else. And I want you to know that we've got our chairman of the board here, and she and the board is very supportive of this perception that when we work for the long term, because the truth is poverty and hunger and the difficulties were caused by, decades-long and generation-long difficulties and challenges, including neocolonialism and all sorts of other negative impact. So to solve these problems takes time, and we are very patient. And we're very patient because you actually do the work.
The Minister of State in charge of agriculture is of the view that the factory is playing a significant role in agricultural development and reducing the reliance on imports.
Maize is very important as a crop in our crop intensification program, and you want to add value because when you process, you add income and then you create wealth. We want our people to be rich, not to have just an income. So we are happy to support and to work together. The role of policymakers when you have been appointed is to enable environment to support the work alongside actors and value chains development. If I take an example in agriculture sector, and you want to be able to continue to analyze what is happening local, regional, globally in order to make you happy to work with us. So that is the way we're doing. In livestock, we have a big issue in which you are supporting us to resolve animal feeds. We have been increasing the livestock production, but we still have loopholes in terms of animal feeds. We still import a high level quantity of animal feeds from livestock, cattle and fishing. So having a factory like this I think is a contribution not only to Gichumi but to entire community of Rwandans.
Farmers were advised to pursue this as a professional venture and increase productivity. The factory is currently at 90% capacity, and the state minister in charge of agriculture doesn't doubt that it will be operating at full capacity within the month. The factory has produced 6 tons of maize flour, and at full capacity production should be up to 60 tons. Food preparation is up to 2 tons, and at full capacity it should be up to 20 to be profitable. Precious Chidezi, RTV News.
It was a pleasure having you join us on Rwanda Television News tonight, and on behalf of the entire news and technical team that made it happen, many thanks for being with us. My name is Sam Kalisa.
And mine, Martina Avera.
Stay safe.
And have a great night.
Goodbye.